Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about next kingdom, which is kingdom Protista. But first let's have a review what we taught in previous lesson. Our previous lesson was about kingdom bacteria. If you remember, we said that they are unicellular prokaryotic organisms, and also we said that according to their shape we can divide them into 5 groups. It means according to their shapes they got 5 types. Then we say they are reproducing by the means of binary fission, and as their survival mechanism they have endospore formation. So now let's see what we have for today. Today we are going to learn about classification of protists, their reproduction, and major groups of them. Be with me till the end of the lesson and learn that stuff. Let's start our lesson with some characteristics of protist. First of all, we know that there are 6 kingdoms, as you can see over there. Protists are so much unique that they do not fit to any other kingdoms, but protists might have some features from plants, some features from animalia, but completely they are not resemble with that kingdoms. Organisms and protists might have some different features that we are going to study today. Their cell type is eukaryotic. It means a complex cell structure they have got with a nucleus with a cover and some other organelles. They can live as only one cell. Sometimes one cell is enough for carrying on their life processes, but sometimes they can make colonies. It means protists can live with each other. They can make a cover around them, and they can make a multicellular structure for carrying out their life. And also we can find them in water and moist places. They can have symbiotic life as well. About symbiotic life, we can say when 2 organisms lives with each other or lives next to each other and they get benefits from each other. It's a symbiotic life. For example, fungi and algae can live with each other, can make lichen, and this lichen structure is showing a symbiotic life example. In lichen structure, the algae function or the protist function is only to produce food by photosynthesis, and the fungi structure is only to hold algae or to hold protist in a position. Some of them can be parasitic. Can cause 2 different illnesses, and usually they are transmitting from one human to another or from animals to human by insect bites. And as you can see over there, the mixture of blood with some protists. About their locomotion or movement, we can say there are 3 ways by which they are moving. The first one is cilia. Cilia is the hair-like structures, as you can see over there. By moving, some protists might have these hair-like structures. By moving this, coordinately moving that cilia, they can move somewhere. The second thing or structure is flagellata, the tail-like structure. By moving that tail-like structure, also protists can move. And the third structure is pseudopoda, or the false food structure that Amebia got. As you can see, they can make food-like structure for themselves in order to move. About their reproduction, we can say they are reproducing in 2 ways. The first one is sexual reproduction, which is conjugation. In conjugation, 2 protists are exchanging their macrinically or their genetic material, and this reproduction is their sexual reproduction is happening rarely. The second type of reproduction is asexual reproduction, which is binary fission, in which first genetic material is getting divided into 2, then their cell and cytoplasm will get divided, and we would get 2 daughter cells from one mother cell. Based on different feeding behaviors that Protista got, we can divide them in two categories as autotroph and heterotroph. Autotroph protists are green algae, red algae, brown algae, diatoms, dinoflagellate, and euglena. And heterotroph protists are amoeboides, ciliates, zooflagellates, sporozoans, slum molds, cellulose slum molds, and water molds. It was classification of protists according to their food behaviors, but generally we can classify them as photosynthetic protists. I mean protists which got chlorophyll and they are autotroph, consumer protists which are decomposers, and protozoan protists or animal-like protists which lack chlorophyll and they are usually parasitic and sometimes they are not parasitic. So, the first category, photosynthetic protists, grouped according to their color and structure, like euglena, diatoms, dinoflagellate, red algae, and green algae. That we are going to see features of them. So, first category, euglena. These are one-celled organisms. It means they are like unicellular. They are moving with the help of flagellata or this tail-like structure that they have got. We can find them in fresh water. They are reproducing asexually, means with binary fission. They got chlorophyll by which they can make food for themselves. And as they have chlorophyll, we can say that they are autotroph as well. Second, diatoms. Diatoms are important source of food for that kind of creatures which are inside of the water. They have specific shapes, different shapes, and their outer cover, I mean their cell membrane is made up of the same material as glass. And the most interesting thing is after death of that diatoms, the outer structure of their cell membrane is not decaying. Next, dinoflagellate. They got two flagellates. That's why they are dinoflagellate. With the help of two flagellates, they are moving. And usually they are found in oceans and they have hidden chlorophyll. Next kind of photosynthetic protist is red algae. They are there are lots of red algae in oceans and they are so much, even they can they can change the color of the ocean to the red, and they're producing a chemical substance which is really harmful, which can kill fish. And even if a human eat from that fish which had that chemical absorbed in their inside their body, this chemical can make a human ill as well. And the last example of photosynthetic protists are green algae. They are unicellular. They can be multicellular as well. Inside water, they are producing oxygen. It means the factory of producing oxygen is green algae. They are good food source, by the way, for fish and some snails and some other water dwellers. And usually we can find them as colonies. The next category of protists are consumer protists or fungus-like protists. For example, slime mold. This is an example of slime mold, for example. They might have different colors like red, yellow, or violet. They are moving like amoeba. With the help of pseudopods or false food structures, they can move. And also they feed on decaying leaves. And last category, protozoans or animal-like protists. There are four kind of it. The first one is flagellate protozoans. Their names are taken from the flagell that they got. That's why flagellate, it means having flagella. And they may be free or aquatic. They can swim freely inside water. But sometimes they can be parasitic. It means sometimes they can cause two different illnesses. Next kind is amoeba. Amoeba means change. Because their shape is changeable. They are moving with the help of pseudopods and they are always changing their shape in order to move or get some food. That's why their name is taken from that word. They are unicellular or single cellular organisms. They are moving with the help of pseudopods, as I told you before. They are aquatic, or inside of the water we can find them, and usually they are causing diseases. Next category, sporozoa. Because they are reproducing with the help of spore, that's why they are sporozoa. They are not moving. I mean, they do not possess any organs for movement, and they cannot move by their own. They are usually parasites, and in tropical areas we can find them. And the last example is ciliata. I mean, they are moving with the help of cilia or hair-like structures that they got. They are always unicellular aquatic organisms and usually do not cause diseases. So friends, this is all about protists. Thank you for being with me till the end of the lesson. I hope you learned.